Coming up next on Mind, Body, and Soul with ANet.
It's time.
Do you have time?
Do you know what time it is?
The time is now.
The time is now.
The time is now.
Do you know what time it is? The time is now.
The time
Do you
is
know
now.
what time it is? The time is now. Do you know what time it is? The time is right now.
Do you have time?
Get caught in a net with ANet. For your mind, body, and soul. Get caught in a net with ANet. It's your intellectual radio show. Here to inspire you and encourage you to be your very best. Get caught in a net with ANet.
You are now tuned in to Mind, Body, and Soul with ANet, where your hosts, ANet Harris, analyze intriguing life questions and concerns, such as, do Christians suffer from mental illness? Have you wondered why they act abnormal? Or you may ask, what is really going on in their minds? Do you need ANet? Well, keep listening for a biblical understanding of the psychology of the mind.
Welcome to another wonderful segment of Mind, Body, and Soul with ANet. I am your girl, ANet Harris. Thank you so much for joining us, for tuning in, for watching. We are here for another good segment. I want to bring to you and introduce to you an individual who God has blessed to survive. I have not titled this segment on today because the workbook that we are going to discuss is titled Enough. And it's talking about surviving narcissistic abuse. But before I get started, I want to pray. Lord, I thank you for all things. I thank you for who you are, how you've blessed us and helped us, encouraged us, and have given us instruction on what to do. Get the glory out of this segment and everything we go to say and do in Jesus' name. The first part of Hosea 4:6 states, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And again, we're grateful to be here, to have you come in and join us and tune in to this segment on today. I am grateful that my guest that I will bring in is someone that I was introduced to through Janine Harris, Janine Weathersby Harris. And she thought that it would be a good connection because of our similarities, and I totally agree with her. So what we're going to do is to focus on the project that she has out, my guest, which is Stephanie Strong. But I also want to encourage you. You can watch us here on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, on my channels at GetcaughtinANet. So you should be able to hear this segment in its entirety, whether you're tuning in live or you have to come back and listen to the recording. So sit back. Get you a cup of water, a cup of tea, so that you can listen to this topic that is very sensitive yet needed. We need to discuss this. How to survive narcissistic abuse. So I'm going to bring my guest in and have her to discuss with you her workbook and how she survived. Introducing Stephanie Strong.
it's almost like a dream. Like he has given me like words to say or the layout of the book or how things should be. And it was definitely towards the end. Matter of fact, last year is when I had the aha moment. Well, Stephanie, it's not just you that's going through this. You know, it's other women that you can reach that's going through this. Just like you were scared to even mention half the stuff that you've been through. People is going through worse than you. So
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
do you have to lose? Like, this is something that could possibly save a life or help somebody. So why not give it a try?
Wow. Is this your first book?
Actually, it's my second book. The first book was just like a book of affirmations.
Okay.
And that was during the pain and the trauma, is because I'm like, okay, I say these affirmations over and over and over. This is what gives me hope that I might eventually get out of this one day. And so
Mhm.
I wrote a book of I am worthy, I am happy, I am peace, I am love, I am joy. You know, a bunch of affirmations that I could say weekly, daily, or dealing with whatever situation, financial situation or embarrassment. So that was my first book, my I say amateur book, because that with that book it taught me the ins and out of what to expect as far as an author, period. But
Okay.
I still had a mind frame of helping others, but not really realizing I was helping others, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Right. Uh-huh. Now, what year did you write that book?
Shoot, I would say 20, 2020.
Oh,
Yeah.
during the pandemic.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Wow. Well, can I throw this in here and ask? That was in 2020. Did things get worse during the pandemic for your situation, would you say? Because, and I'm asking that because, of course, at that time, we all had to, stay in, and basically there were a lot of research even went out talking about these marriages and the homes that were already kind of teetering and tottering, on the verge of breaking up, and it made it worse. Domestic situations, I believe, increased during COVID. So, did things change further in your marriage during that time?
So I would like to call that part of life, the pandemic, the years of the pandemic, was, to me, this is how I view it. It was a time that God just silent the world to make you reflect, or to make you push you to a different direction, a different view or avenue, or to really see things for what it is, because it was quiet during that time. But um, things did not get worse. I say this because I'm in a career, I'm a government worker where I was an essential worker. So I still had to travel and be in the, out in the world,
Oh,
which
wow.
to me, which is
Okay.
probably what saved me during that time.
Wow.
So things did get worse because during that time I had to travel to different states with the work that I do. And even though I wasn't in close proximity or just like in close with this man, and he's getting on my nerve and stuff like that, he was still getting on my nerve on the road, because it's now, where you at? Who you with? What you doing? Are you sneaking around and this and this and this? So I mean, I still had moments of like, okay, but it wasn't bad because I wasn't like, he wasn't here with me. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Mhm. Wow. That's deep. Um, if you guys are just now joining us, we're talking today to Stephanie Strong, and she is the author of She Survived. It is a workbook, healing from narcissistic abuse. I like this little quote at the back. I'm going to read this. You survived the storm. Now it's time to claim your healing and build an unshakable future. That's for you that are watching and those that you will share this with. Mm-mm-mm. So Stephanie has bravely written this workbook to let each of us know whatever you're dealing with. And that narcissistic abuse, it's real. You can't, dismiss it, but you can survive. She survived, right? Let me read this real quick. It says narcissistic abuse in marriage involves emotional manipulation, lack of empathy, and controlling behaviors that can leave the non-narcissistic spouse feeling isolated, devalued, and emotionally drained. Woo, this is a lot. And some, I know some people that are going through, but they still come out. You remember those commercials where they have I don't have an example of it, but they have like the little face, a smiling face, and they put it in front of their own face, it's like a drawing, but then you pull away and they're like this, so it's almost like it's a cover, it's not really how they're feeling, that smiley face. And so unfortunately, there are many people who, and they may not have that, that drawn, happy face walking around with it literally, but they are walking around like that. And that's a lot of stress, even what you just described, even, what you dealt with even during the pandemic, when you still had to work and you still had to travel. You're doing this, you're going to work for your family and, doing, being a helpmeet, if you will.
Yes.
But you're getting accused, for whatever reason, whether it's because of, their low self-esteem or maybe they're projecting. It could be a variety of things. So as you were dealing with that, what was kind of, honey, you know what, somebody put on one on the workshop, and I still remember this, you might remember. They were listening to you and they turned your name around and they said, Strong Stephanie. Strong Stephanie instead of Stephanie Strong. And that grabbed I don't know, I was sitting back, I was, listening at the workshop, and I looked at it, I said, oh my God, yes. So you had to be strong.
Yes.
With all that you were dealing with. And you said two children, right?
Yes. And that was my motivation. That was my push right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can just imagine. And I don't know why I always think like this, Stephanie. I'm like wondering what was really going on in his mind. Did he have such a low self-esteem that he tried to beat you down? Was he jealous, or what was all going on in his mind? And I'm sure at that time you probably wouldn't care about what was going on in his mind.
Yeah.
Why he was acting and or reacting that way. But it's quite interesting. That's a whole nother show, about the abuser and the reason why they are doing what they do. It could have been done to them. I don't know. But yeah, I would definitely say you were definitely strong and going through that situation, because it couldn't have been easy.
Yes. Yes.
But I always come back to this. God always reminds me that our journey in life is not for us alone.
Absolutely.
We go through, we deal with, we come up against certain things and we think, oh God, why? But then God sees the big picture, and in the long run, he's like, well, I did that because I want to help this one, this one, this one, and hence the reason you even wrote the book and did the workshops and, are doing your promotion of this. So what is the best part of this workbook, or something that really stuck out with you? As you write, a lot of times you write, you may have a favorite part, you may have something, I don't know whether it is the whole concept of how you wrote it. Do you have a favorite part?
Actually, the entire book is my favorite part, but if I was to pick, I would say the self-reflection moments. And that was written to see how far I've come
Mm,
and my becoming. Um, like I said, I am a very, very extremely private person. And just to know that I even said half of the stuff I said in this book is like, wow, Stephanie, you done grew up. Like, okay, girl, I see you. Now, that's setting you up for something bigger and something greater. And even with this book, I am now removing myself out of it because it's like, okay, you done did the work. You're still doing the work. You're still becoming, but it's now time to transition and help other people.
yes.
So I remove myself out the equation, and my main focus is on getting other women that is private like me or scared to speak up or don't feel that they don't have a voice,
Hmm.
to come out just like me.
Yeah.
Um, I am considered quiet and things like that, but yeah,
Mm,
just for women just like me to have a voice.
right, right. Okay. I like that. I just wanted to ask you that question if you had a favorite part, but you said the whole book is your favorite. And I totally agree. As I was reading this, of course, I couldn't help but to pick up my highlighter and highlight some things in here. I love your dedication page to the woman who thought she'd never make it out. This is for you. And, those who cry in silence, you continue on with saying, those who question their worth. So
Mhm.
much of that happens. Um, and I know that we're, talking about, the marriage that you were involved in. What is there are other situations like, I think of women, like even Black women, we're in our jobs in corporate America, a lot of times we are abused, sometimes we encounter those who are narcissistic and,
Mhm.
maybe they're trying to tear us down or what have you. Do you think that your workbook could help, other situations other than marriages and relationships? And if so, how do you think so?
Absolutely. Because my book, it does not just talk about him. It does
Hmm.
not just talk about narcissistic abuse. It talks about knowing your worth, rebuilding, reclaiming, understanding you again, evolving, which we should always be in a state of evolution,
Yeah.
growth, having a growth mindset. So I have, in many cases, taken some of them journal prompts or some of those activities that I have in my book and replaced some of the words, and um, it has helped me with my work life situation. It has helped me with other connections that I have.
Yeah.
So it's not just like dealing with a significant other or a spouse. It's just you as a person, period. Just overall
Right.
reclaiming, rebuilding, learning worth, um, learning triggers and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
absolutely, it's more than just a narcissistic abuse survival manual. It's to me a life manual.
I love it. I love it. So how would you advise or talk to someone in terms of um, pinpointing or knowing when they have suffered from this narcissistic abuse? Maybe some different key points to look out for. Because some people may be in it, and are suffering from it, but they don't recognize what it is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So what are some points that you can have them to kind of look out for?
When you can't recognize yourself, when
Mm,
somebody asks, "What are your likes? What are your dislikes?" and you can't answer that. Um,
wow.
when you realize that you constantly put other people's needs in front of your own. There has been many times that I done felt back um, and I kind of felt like I didn't matter. Like Okay, I was a person that loved to see people happy. So I would do whatever it takes to make a person happy, even if it meant putting what it is or my emotions on the back burner. So when you feel things like, okay, I really don't want to do this,
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with it, but it makes this person happy. Moments like that, moments of realization that you're walking on eggshells and you can't be you, and you constantly, if it's a physical cry or if it's an internal thing, mindset, those things that trigger you,
Yeah.
when you, I guess, outbursts, anger, or what the new kids say, crash outs,
Mm-hmm.
things that are, that's typically not something that you would do. That's what you need to pay attention to.
Wow, not being yourself. I love it. So then you have to know yourself.
You have to know yourself.
That way you'll get, oh, I don't normally do that. What's happening here? Okay, so that could be evidence that you may be experiencing this. Wow. And then that emotional manipulation, I'm telling you, it's so evil. If I could just describe it like that. Gaslighting, individuals, guilt tripping.
Yes.
Um,
Love
and
bombing.
it's crazy because it's like they do it with such ease, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and you're like, wait a minute, no.
That comes from a moment of them actually learning you. At the beginning stages, that beginning stage is them learning you. They're learning your likes and dislikes. They're learning your quirks. They're learning your triggers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even some people that do have a narcissistic disorder, they don't sometimes understand that they have that, but it's just something. Okay, well, I know if I say this, it's going to get under her skin. So I'm going to use that to my advantage the next time we have an argument. Or now I gained her trust. So she confide in me and she tell me things that she wouldn't tell nobody else. So I'm going to use that in reverse the next time we have an argument. I'm going to use what she told me, out of confidence, or, just being that person. Yeah, they use that, use you against yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I've been there. It's like, okay, you're my significant other. I feel like, you should be my best friend. So I should be able to come to you and let you know this what happened to me at work, or, this is the way that I'm thinking at a certain connection with my girlfriend, or something like that. So when we do have a disagreement, well, I see why they treat you like this, or I see why you go through this because you did this and this and this. Like, why would you use that against me? Like,
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
it's manipulation is a monster.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. And even in listening to you, I hear control. They just want that control over you.
Mhm.
And then it's like, then you think, okay, but why? Why are you trying to control
Yeah.
me? Worry about yourself.
Yes. Yes.
Control yourself. But yeah, that's really something to kind of look at. And unfortunately, and I'm gonna say, because I'm sure that there are varying degrees of this narcissistic abuse. Some may be experiencing it on a smaller scale,
Mhm.
and of course it could, go all the way, over or whatever. I was just thinking of this young woman in her marriage. She mentions about how the husband, and he doesn't overtly, do stuff, but it's like small things to kind of, you know, do the guilt tripping or
Mhm.
blaming, the blame shift.
Oh
Whew,
yeah. Oh yeah.
is
Men
really,
do that.
really,
Mhm.
yeah, that's crazy, and it's what she says is that sometimes no, not sometimes, and she didn't say sometimes. She said, when they're having discussions or whatever, it's almost like the husband will immediately shift the blame. I mean, it could be something simple.
Yep.
Well, you shouldn't have
Deflecting.
done that.
Yep.
What were you going to say?
Deflecting. Deflecting, that's what it's called.
Mhm.
Deflecting. You and I've been through that too. There was a time where I used to voice, okay, this you did this, you hurt me, and things like that, and then it would be more like, well, you did this. We're not talking about that right now. Why can't I voice my opinion without you? I mean, we can talk about me. We always talk about me, but why can't I tell you something you did and you just take it and say, hey, we can work on it, we can get better, but it's always no, but you did, or
Mhm.
something on those lines, like why deflect? Why
Mhm.
shift the blame? We're in this thing together. We're supposed to grow. We're supposed to learn. I've never been married before. He's never been married. So yes, this
Right.
is a new thing. So let's
Right.
grow and evolve together. But
Mhm.
it goes back to the control. It goes back
Mhm.
to wanting to, I guess, I don't know. I can't even speak for him. I don't even
Right.
know why he did what he did. I mean, I
Mhm.
do have a clue. It goes back to childhood and
Yeah.
mother issues and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
when you are a genuine person and your heart is in the right place, you just, I'm not going to say we just got married because we were high school sweethearts, so we still kind of knew each other.
Right.
I feel like I had rose colored glasses on then because I saw the signs, but I'm like,
Oh.
oh, we can grow. We can grow from this. We're young. Um,
Mm.
and I just ignored it. The first
Okay.
marriage was hell, and it just seemed like it went down from there.
Mhm.
But
Wow. So
it,
wait. So you mentioned signs. Now,
mhm.
did you see the signs, maybe some signs before you got married, or was it during that
Oh,
first year?
absolutely, absolutely.
Wow.
And um, I was told, even as a teen, he had 6 other siblings, and his dad was the only one that really brought in the paycheck. So he felt the need to help his dad and work and stuff like that. And
Okay.
so he would blame it on, I'm stressed. I got a lot on my plate. I'm doing this. And then that made me feel, okay, well, when you lash out at me, well, maybe I am the reason or the cause for you lashing out. Let me just be quiet and hold everything in and not say nothing or not speak my mind. But it wasn't me. It
Mhm.
wasn't me.
Mhm.
And it took until now. I'm 43 years old. It took until now to understand what he had going on was something that he was dealing with, and it was not me.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Mm. You know, my sister talks about me all the time. She says she'll call me with something and I'll get quiet on the phone. And she says, stop analyzing. I just did that just now. But I was thinking, and you mentioned, because things start, it doesn't just start right then.
right.
And I'm glad you kind of mentioned about background. As far as the father being the main one bringing in the money and then him helping the dad, he
Hmm.
could have had, I don't know, some resentment toward his mother.
So it's funny that you brought that up. My
Okay.
mom always taught me, which I could kick myself, but she always taught me to pay attention to the way that a guy treats his mom. The
Yes.
way that he treats his mom is how he's going to treat you.
Yep.
And his mom, um, his mom and dad is still married to this day, but his mother had a so controlling demeanor. She was just
Wow.
mean. She was mean.
Okay.
Um, she's an elder in the church,
Mm.
and me looking at it now is just like we go to church. We that's where we met it. I met him at church, and
Okay.
his mom was just so sweet and nice and loving, caring, kind in church. But as soon as we walk out those four walls, it's just like the fangs and the horns come out. So his mom was definitely very controlling and still is in the household. And they didn't have a really good connection.
Okay.
When he would try to come to her, he would tell me, well, she would throw the Bible at me all the time instead of like being a mother. I said, yeah, I do understand that, the Bible is a manual as well, but it's just sometimes where you just need your mom. And he felt like he never had his mom. And then that's when my mom came into play. He would call on my mom, and my mom would be caring because that was my boyfriend at the time and
Right.
things like that. But he didn't have a really good, and honestly, to this day, their connection is not good at all.
Wow. Wow. That just hit my spirit. I didn't know. I didn't know any of that. Wow. That's deep. Yeah. So, a lot of times, how they talk about don't bring in that baggage, to your relationship. That stuff is true.
It
You have
is.
to be careful. But then we said earlier, you have to know yourself. So you have to know that this is what you've been dealing with and that it's affecting you,
Mhm.
in this sense, because it ain't gonna do nothing but spill on out into your own marriage. And we see this is, what happened. But
Yes.
yeah,
I was 15 when I met him. And
okay.
so some people say, well, you're young. You don't know what you want and know this. And I had my both my brother and my father passed away. Both
I'm
passed
sorry.
away from kidney failure. But I had a dad and I had a brother that showed me how a man is supposed to treat a woman. They
Beautiful.
love me and my mom unconditionally. You know
Mhm.
how people say, well, you can't say you love someone unconditional because there's always a condition that, you have to have. Or no, when I say at my mom's worst or at my worst, or if I had an attitude or if we had a bad day, they would love us out of that.
Right.
And I knew from the examples that they gave what I wanted in a significant other and a spouse. I
Mhm.
know how I should have been treated. So,
Yeah,
yes, I was 15 when I met them. And then even if I didn't have them in my life, you know when you're happy, you know when you're sad, you know
that's true.
when you're disappointed, you know when you're triggered. So I don't care how young you are,
Mhm.
you know those things.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, because that's how God made us.
Mhm.
So we will know the difference between being happy, being sad, being whatever. God has given that to us. So we
Mhm.
know. Yes, it's always interesting when people say, "Oh, you're too young to understand it." No,
Yeah.
well, I am a human being, so
Yeah.
I should be able to distinguish between feelings. But yeah, this is really, really deep. Healing from narcissistic abuse. That is that's the goal. That is what we're trying to get across, and you're trying to do this through your workbook, through your life.
Mhm.
What are some of and there have been many that have purchased your workbook. What are some maybe testimonies that maybe you can kind of share with us? Of course, not detailed, but that
Mhm.
your workbook has helped an individual who maybe have dealt with a situation like this.
Well, even during the workshop, I had said before the workshop, because this is my first time ever even putting on anything like that.
Yeah.
Even if I just touch one person, I
Hmm.
know that I'm doing the work. And during the workshop, there were women that would be in attendance. And when it was their time to speak or to tell their story, a lot of them, um, that was their first time of even sharing what it was that they went through. So
Yeah.
I know that not just by the workbook, but the workshop period, the community that was being built, uh,
Mhm.
it has touched people. And I was in at awe. And even with I call her Mama
Yeah.
Janine Harris, the host of the workshop. She would text me and call me and say, "Baby, you would not believe how your book helped me." And it wasn't dealing with a significant other; it was just everyday life situation. So
Mhm.
I know that um, the book is booking, is actually working, is doing the work, and is touching people. And I am just like so grateful that I was obedient to God,
Yes.
um, and not allow my fear, or the fear of being judged, or the fear of putting my business out there, stop me from moving forward. So,
Beautiful. I applaud you. I do. I my heart goes out to you. I love the fact that you were able to share your personal journey, that you were able to be vulnerable with us. And I believe, a lot of times that's how God, instructs us, share your own. That way you can kind of, comb in and bring in those who are, they can relate basically to what you have dealt with. Um, and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for this connection. I am grateful that your workbook is going to help many, many more people as they purchase. So let me do this. Let me ask you to share with everyone where they can purchase your workbook, and website you want to let them know to go to, and anything else that you're doing. I think you also have a Facebook page. Just tell them where they can find you as well.
okay, you can purchase the workbook on Amazon. Just type in the search engine She Survive. I should be the first or the second one that pops up. Um, you can find me on my social media platforms. I have one on Instagram at She Survive 2025, and it's all one word, She Survive 2025. I have two Facebook pages. One is a private page, and that page is She Survived a Healing Journey. That page is for women to come together, to vent, to share their stories, just a
Mhm.
community of women that's either going through or has gone through similar situations. And then I have a public Facebook page, She Survived.
Okay.
And that page is just for like your daily affirmations or upcoming events.
Okay. All right. Well, let me do this real quick. I wanted to do it while she was talking. You guys can see you should be able to see on the screen the Amazon, where you can purchase her book, her workbook. It is the top one. She just told you that. Okay, She Survived. Type in She Survived, and it will pop up here, and you can have that delivered to you. And you can also go on Facebook. As she mentioned, she has a group, and I need to get more involved in that group. I know I see every once in a while some posts that pop up on that group. I think it's very encouraging, and I think that individuals can really, really get something from it.
Mhm.
So make sure you guys do that. I definitely, definitely encourage you to reach out to her. So what's next for Stephanie? What are we doing? Are we doing more workshops? I know that you said the 3-day workshop is open up the door for this community to move forward in this respect. So what are some things that are coming up that, or you planning on having coming up that we should be aware of?
Okay, well, again, my goal is to continue to create a safe space for healing, whether it's through the workbook. Definitely is working on like future programs and community service, um, um, reaching to empower women. I'm definitely, it's been thrown out there to create another workshop,
Okay.
but this time to go more into detail as far as like the journal prompts and the actual activities of the book.
Okay.
I'm definitely working on digital content,
Mhm.
and in the near future, maybe possibly a full branding around healing and transformation. So
That
that's
will
the
be
goal,
great.
to keep going. This is only the beginning.
Oh man, and it's so needed, sis. It is really needed. So I encourage you and push you to do what you need to do. to get this out more. As we end on today, can you give some more encouraging words to those who are watching or will watch this segment? Anything related to the topic or whatever God gives you, something encouraging.
You can survive something and still be greater after it. Don't limit yourself to just being a survivor. Even in my stage, I say I am still becoming. So what I've went through, I know it doesn't define me. And please don't let what you went through define you, because you can rise from it. Take time for yourself, give yourself grace, but don't be stuck in where you are. Healing is possible, and peace is our birthright, and you're deserving of it. So,
All right. I love it. That was very encouraging. And I encourage you with those same words. You're doing a great job, Stephanie. Please continue, allow God to continue to use you and to bless you as you are becoming, as you say. And I love it. I love it. And God will continue to take you through. And I pray blessings over you and your children, your family, and all your endeavors that you have coming up. So thank you again for coming and sharing with us. I know that there's so much more that we could discuss and talk about. So then that means we have to have you back, if you would not mind. So thank you again. And we appreciate you. And you guys make sure you follow Stephanie. You know where to get her book. And I'm quite sure if you send her a friend request, she may respond and allow you to be her friend on social media. So make sure you reach out to her. Beautiful woman of God. And I keep looking at this picture on the back of this, honey, they did that for you. Okay? You're beautiful anyway, but I love that. I love that picture. So thank you again for being transparent and sharing your journey. She survived. Those are two powerful words. She survived. And you all can make it as well. So listen to her encouraging words that she just shared with us on today and know that you can make it as well. All right, guys, we are going to get out of here. I'll play our outro and we'll see you soon. And it'll be time for you to get caught in a net.
Get caught in a net with ANet. For your mind, body, and soul. Get caught in a net with ANet. It's your